Happy Labor Day to everyone, and I missed Sunday, and I thought, I just needed to get on for a little bit tonight. And whether you're joining me live or after the fact, it's all good. I've been reading some really good stuff. I had a really relaxing time. Ashley, how you doing? I spent some time with Dr. Luthringer, his wife, and some friends, Dan, Diane, Lenny, and really just had a really great time. And so I apologize for missing last night. And T was telling me I was feeling a little guilty about missing it, and in some way I was. This really is a tremendous amount of joy for me, by the way, and I'm always finding some really good ideas and conversation. So let me get onto my iPad, which always is a good way for me to sort of see your questions of interest. I've been reading my board exam questions, and I have to recertify for my OBGYN and my reproductive endocrinology boards every single year. And so interesting, I found this really great article about men with non-obstructive azoospermia, and there's an increase in certain bacteria and microorganisms. And it's interesting, it's always been my belief that we're all just kind of a culture dish. And they think maybe the bowel bacteria, yeast, and viruses all sort of get into every nook and cranny of our bodies. And for many, they may have increased inflammation in the testes. And so even when you're seeing normal sperm counts, there may be something going on there that may be affecting male fertility. Again, we see the woman, everything's normal, and the guys, everything's normal, and who do we blame? We blame the woman. So it's all a crazy process. And again, happy Labor Day. The summer is like zipped by. It's gone fast. And Ashley, William, Angelique, Nellis, Brittany, Nanette, Sarah, how you guys doing? Always a pleasure. I hope everyone's really had a great summer. This is a struggle, challenging process. And I've been hearing a lot about sort of some negativity going on out on Facebook and all these blogs and Instagram and stuff. And I think it's just our normal human judgment, gossip, and whenever we're stressed and strained with something so frustrating as infertility, we all lash out. And I know I do it in many things in my life, but I work to practice slowing it down. And this is the challenge for all of us. And if you haven't seen my website, Mind, Body, Smile, the whole intention is start the day with a daily meditation, prayer, intention. And I have a new intention book out. So just find something that'll help you slow it down. And Dora, Jemmy, how you guys doing? Ashley, we're always nervous for these phone calls, and I'm always, enjoy doing the face-to-face, either that you're there personally with me or that you want to FaceTime live or Skype. But remember, I'm here to listen to your story, to discuss lots of different options, and many of them are completely opposite than you and I have ever learned. And so it's all pretty challenging process. But I look forward to talking to Ashley on the phone tomorrow, and with myself, Dr. Corley, I'm not sure, but again, we're always working. And Adriana, what is your opinion on NK cells? Those are natural killers. And thank you for your words about a day off. And it was really great, by the way. So the NK cells are the white blood cells that seem to have an adverse effect in some areas of our bodies, in the uterus, around the ovaries, the tubes, the testicles. And when they're in excess amounts, it may mean that there's a hyper-inflammatory process going on within our bodies. And I'm not a big tester of the NK cells because I believe that in general, infertility is an inflammatory process that you may find it with elevated CRP, ESR, with elevated glucose levels, elevated insulin levels, elevated hemoglobin A1Cs. So there's lots of tests that you can do. But if it's something you want to look at, we're more than welcome to test the serum, the blood, and do that measurement. Interesting enough, it may be that we can't always identify the inflammatory process. I believe that there's a balance, right? We're either too low of inflammation or too high. And so how do you sort of stay within this range? Too low, too high, just right? We're always moving. This is where I believe keto, paleo, meditation, prayer, slow it down. Really, really important for all of us to slow it down. And now at 62, no exercise. I'm really strict on my keto, although I'm gonna admit, last night, Dr. Lutheringer's house and his wife Debbie and Myron and his mom brought. I had some potatoes. I had a little bit of arugula salad with fruit, and I did have some angel food cake with a berry pie. So occasionally, from time to time, we all need to bring in some of those things that make us feel good, but it's something that we need to reduce significantly, in my opinion. And I really believe we need to be sharing this with our family, our friends, because keto is king. And there are ways to do keto if you're a vegan or vegetarian. It's a challenge, but it's something I really, really think is important. Laura, how you doing? Lizzie, hello, hello, hello. And it's really, I'm so grateful to connect to so many people around this globe. This is a world community. And so what we're really working to do is share helping each other in this global fertility community. And remember, when we're seeing someone in pain and lash out, I think what we all want to try to do is listen and learn and share love with them. Because we don't understand why any of us is going so crazy sometimes. And I know sometimes I like, because we're lions and lionesses. And we get a little crazy in all of this. Let's see. So Atlanta, it's coming. Dr. Viradalis is working to get everything in line to do consults, IUIs, monitoring. We're hoping to get PRP, platelet-rich plasma, intrauterine, possibly intra-ovarian. So lots coming. And I'm learning because, let's see, who had the CBD question? Let's see, Anna Miles, how you doing? Cannabinoid oil, which is a high-fat omega-3s, comes from hemp plant. There may be THC, but we're recommending the non-THC brands. We've been using CB Distillery, Hemp Works, and Charlotte's Web. But if you have some that you've used, 2 to 4 droplets under the tongue, but there's topical, there's bombs, there's pills, there's vaping. So there's lots of different ways to do it. But basically, like omega-3s, the CBD is a essential oil. It's an herbal medicine that is anti-inflammatory. So like LDN, like keto, it's king. It really, really helps tremendously. And so that's how I think it really, really helps more than anything. Crystal, how you doing? And Emily again, and Ben Sudin, hi to you. And I apologize if I don't get everyone's names correct. And sometimes if you're in the Syracuse office and you ask if I'm there, I always want to come and say hello. Dr. Corley, myself, my practitioners and nurses, the embryology team is really amazing. We have worked out a plan that if you do not get eggs or embryos to transfer, we work to get you the next cycle for little to no cost. Because we know how tough this journey is. And if you do 3 of the IVF under self-pay, the 4th is $600. We're really working to make it more affordable, more accessible, and there's full financing for everyone. You don't have to qualify, just make sure you ask. There's an additional charge, so you're gonna pay a little bit more, but ultimately it is still so much more affordable than most in this country, and even more affordable than traveling to Eastern Europe or the Bahamas or any other place that you're looking towards. So travel, tourist, medical tourism, we have so many that drive, that fly. Not too many people walk. It's a little more challenging, obviously. But and remember, you have to try to keep your humor in all this really challenging stuff. And I do give my cell phone out, 315-416-9872. The reason is, if you're having a challenge, you're not hearing from someone, or you're feeling defeated, people text me, call me. If you text and don't hear from me, just text again. We have the portal, we have web correspondence. I have an amazing, amazing team. And sometimes in our communication, we humans hear something different, or we need a little different approach, each of us. And Tia, my fiance, says one thing and I hear another. I say one thing and she hears another. I sometimes don't understand why there's this natural wrestling of men and women, but it is kind of our natural, just who we are as human beings. And so do not give up. You're pushing the metal to the pedal, but sometimes you got to ease off and take a month off, or 2 or 3. Get the mind and the body in a better place. Yoga with Erin McCullough in Fertile Hope Yoga. Check her out through CNY Fertility. She's mostly in Rochester, but she does also a global sharing. And really, that's what this is all about. This is a global sharing. So many of our patients are conceiving en natural, doing a keto paleo plan. Now remember, you can try paleo, it may be the home run, but keto is king. Lions and lionesses. It's really, really amazing. And I tell people 0 exercise, 0 carbs, carbocaine. And remember, when you exercise, you're heating up the body, you're cooking your DNA, your protein, your eggs, and your sperm. Slow it down. Go slow, slow, slow. So, Jessica Faith Malden, how you doing? What advice can you possibly give me being recently diagnosed with hypothyroidism? Let me see if I can open this up, but it's not loving it. And all right, my iPad's being a little futzy. I apologize, but hypothyroidism and thyroid disorder is rampant among men and women. We need to be testing more guys also. I believe inflammation due to glucose, plant antigens, phytochemicals, fermentation in the gut, and exercise are the causes of the inflammatory process. We call it an autoimmune, but really it's immunologic reaction to what we put in our body, whether we eat it, breathe it, or it's topical, one way or another. It wants to get into us. We're just a culture dish, and we're trying to sort of keep it at bay, not too much, not too little, just right. But hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, and thyroid antibodies all affect fertility. There's been a lot of controversy. Should it be less than 2.5 the TSH, or is it okay if it's a little higher? If you have normal thyroid antibodies and the TSH in the 2.5 to 4, it may be okay. But we're really working to add a little bit of levothyroxine, Synthroid, or Amrothyroid to try to reduce it. But keto, acupuncture, slow it down. These smoothies and all these shakes have too much sugar and plant antigens, and the keto is not a high protein diet. It's a high fat diet. And because if you have no fat, we die. Fat is the fuel for every single cell in our bodies, and our reproductive organs need it. They're screaming for it, but we're not eating it. The fat suppresses inflammation. It like boosts all the hormones, which are made of cholesterol and made of fat. Wow, it's too crazy for any of us to believe. And I was talking to some dietitians, and it's a hard one for dietitians because nutritionists are trained by the food industry. The food makes the majority of the carbohydrates because almost everything we consume is a carb, is sugar, is deadly. In small amounts, separated from time to time, intermittent feasting, I call it, not intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting means you intermittently don't eat. Well, we're not herbivores, we're carnivores. Okay, we're omnivores. We've been built to pretty much eat about anything. But many of the things that you and I have been told are healthy are deadly, in my opinion. The majority of them are all coming from carbohydrates and plants. All right, Kara, I am so sorry about the loss, 24 weeks. PGS test remaining embryos. If there was a genetic cause of that loss, then yes, there may be benefit to PGS test frozen embryos. But most of the time, it's an inflammatory immunologic loss that testing them won't help. Now, if it's Down syndrome and you're looking for, do I have another Down syndrome embryo, then doing the PGS, and we're using Cooper Genomics. They're really awesome. We're really working to make it affordable. Jan W., how you doing? David V., and we're looking forward to meeting everyone, by the way. And I don't personally get a chance to meet and greet and say hi, but please, the shout outs, and I so appreciate it. We're sharing a story to everyone that is, I call it a home run, and it's a knuckleball, and no one else can hit it but you. And so do not give up. And let's see, LaRosha, how you doing? How many cycles you think I should wait? Well, I usually say at least one, but if you require 3 to 6 for slowing it down, but while you're taking the time in the waiting, you want to create the winning formula: meditation, prayer, yoga, Tai Chi. Slow it down. Keto. Marie Emmerich, and she's coming on the 12th of September. See My Fertility Syracuse. We're going to be blogging it, living it, sharing it. And always go to Maria's Keto. Now, Maria and I are on the same page. I know I'm ultra Kiltz's keto, which is ultra crazy, which is very, very narrow. Girlfriends and boyfriends on the side are not good for a relationship. I say spice and sides and variety are deadly in food also. But Maria has some really great stuff that you will find delicious, easy, and you will feel so much better. And remember, listen, 62, zero exercise. I tell this to everyone. Share it with your mother, your father, your grandparents, your friends, your family, your neighbors. It is outrageously amazing. Melissa DeSanto, how are you doing? Talk about needing an extra day of progesterone. Yes. So the endometrial receptivity assay, ERA, with a scratch, and you send the biopsy sample to iGenomics, and we're working with a few clinics, and we're looking for more that will help us monitor your mock cycle prior to a frozen transfer to see whether or not it's better to transfer on day 5, 6, or 7 of progesterone. That said, the majority seem to be coming back on day 6. We believe either natural or letrozole with the trigger works really nice. And if your lining is not 7 millimeters or greater, but it's in the 5.5 to 6 plus range, and it's a trilaminar, that is a good sweet spot also. And remember, we're doing a lot of HCG Neupogen washes, intralipids, and also sub-Q Neupogen. We think it really helps a lot. And I saw, let's see, Nicole Ford, Prograf like doing intralipids, or do you recommend both? Prograf, tacrolimus, which is used for those people who are having organ transplants. Think of that little embryo as a transplanted organ. Remember, the male genetics and the female genetics both contribute. It's often your body is working to reject it, and for whatever reason, and we don't understand fully the reasons why, but using things like Prograf or Plaquenil, weekly intralipids, Lovenox, aspirin, prednisone, talking more and more about the antihistamine protocol, which is Claritin, Pepcid, and Benadryl, which may be helping. But since we use a lot of an immunologic plan and protocol, then adding the antihistamine may not be necessary. We do a lot of work with Dr. Braverman and Dr. Kwok Kim and Dr. Beer's clinic. We are a reproductive immunology center. We will work with you and your docs in every way we can. IVIG, or intravenous immunoglobulins, I call it the vacuum cleaner of the immune system. Highly recommend it for those who have failed everything else. And remember, inflammation is the cause of infertility, whether everything looks normal or not. It's really the foundation and the base of all this. If you read Terry Whale's book on MS, I believe MS, Parkinson's, colitis, Crohn's, irritable bowel, even all of those that are suffering from sadness, depression, anxiety, it is an inflammatory process. La Rocha, we are here to help. And remember, reach out to us if you have or know someone that needs that extra help, or if you do. And thanks everyone for the patience with my team and myself. It was really great to get that rest and relaxation and spend some time with some friends last night. I was planning on doing the live, and it was like, oh man, just a little bit more hanging out, and I knew I was a little tired and needed a little rest. So gratitude to everyone out there. Sarah, can we adjust the dose of LDN? So LDN, low-dose naltrexone, and I really direct everyone to the low-dose naltrexone books. There's several out there, you guys have helped me learn about CBD, LDN, keto, and I believe low-dose naltrexone in the 1.5 to 4.5 range is going to be helpful in reducing inflammation. It's taken at night. It's naloxone, but in a lower dose. It's a opiate reversing agent. It's used for those people who overdose with the opioids. And so going up from 3 to 4.5, adding CBD oil, and remember keto paleo, really helpful also. For some reason my iPad is not opening up the mores in all of this. So when you're asking a question, maybe re-ask it if it's too long. And I'm slightly iPad resistant today, maybe, but Care Walda offers assist with IUI. So we do IUIs. We do, again, whether you're doing a natural cycle, intercourse, IUI, IVF, donor eggs, donor embryos, donor sperm, gestational carrier, or whatever you're doing, we're here to help you on your journey. We are currently at $350 for an IUI, and at $3,900 for an IVF. and $250 for the frozen cycle, we are the most affordable. And we're really working to help with everyone. And it's a crazy process. And if you look at the SART CDC statistics, they're misleading. We believe we've done very well. We're helping lots out there, and so sharing the stories, the pictures. Many centers do not accept certain BMIs, previous failures, AMHs. We see many that are bringing their embryos from other locations because we add a different mix. Tremendous amount of the immune system, non-traditional things, which actually I call traditional because they're thousands of years old. The healing oils, essential oils, dietary changes, and all the spirituality, really, really helpful and powerful. Ashley Legg, how you doing? Tiffany, Emily, awesome. And again, if I forget to mention someone, please accept my apologies. A shout out to my entire CNY fertility teams. They're really working diligently between Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, and Albany. Doctors Ditkoff and Grossman are awesome. We all have a different approach and personality. And, you know, we all sort of instinctually react positive or negatively, or really just sort of in between to all of us. This is our human being nature. So, and we're, each time people watch this, we're adding them to the IVF giveaway. And remember, anyone could join in, likes and shares. And even if you're finding something, hey, Dr. Kiltz, we think this is going wrong, and please bring it to my attention so we can redirect it and make it better. And remember, human beings, in general, I think our intention is to do good and be good. But sometimes, you know, you're driving down the road, someone cuts you off, you automatically, you know, you hold on to the steering wheel, you get a little angry, you might speed up a little bit. Always sending love. That's a practice. And I do this. Listen, learn, and love. That's what we all need to practice a little bit better. So Dr. Ditkoff, really awesome. And Sean from all of our embryology, and Erica, Sean, and I apologize if I don't remember everyone. Mike, we got some new people in Albany. It's a really awesome team. And all of our nurses and practitioners, a shout out. And your criticism is critiquing and helpful for us in a way that I can share it, you can share with me, and we can all step up to the next level. And we're all on the same journey, going to the same place, by the way. Chelsea Miros, how you doing? Prednisone in place of Neupogen. Poor Treg cells, IL-17 early, and it's still not opening. So, but from 5 twice a day prednisone to 10 twice a day really helps. Neupogen is more expensive. Up it though a little bit. I'll do greater than 60 in some cases. Remember, we know that infertility, like cancer, heart disease, and every disease you and I suffer as human beings, and we will all get something. So even though you're doing keto and paleo and you're slowing it down, human beings, like cars, break down. Using these increased prednisone, aspirin, Lovenox 30 to 40 twice a day. And I've learned a tremendous amount from Dr. Braverman, Dr. Kwok Kim, and also Dr. Beer, and antibiotic therapy. So as I found this article that talks about the microbiome in the testes that may be adversely affecting in the areas of bad sperm or non-obstructive azoospermia, which means the pipes are open, but there's no sperm coming out. It's really kind of interesting. I think antibiotics for 2 to 4 weeks in men and women, maybe even longer if you think of it a little bit like Lyme disease. Our body is really hard to get rid of these diseases and disorders. And back to, if you look at tuberculosis and so many other fungi and bacteria and virus, they're really, really, really difficult. And Andre Carnice, right? Let's see, A Pleasure, 2018 June, baby girl. And I usually recommend about 3 months, and as long as 6 months should be good before you're ready to do a frozen embryo transfer. And so we really have some great, great, great things coming up, and 2019 is going to be here soon. And listen, upstate New York, we still have plenty of airplanes and driving. People arrive all day long. We're really excited about Atlanta as a satellite for now, and possibly getting down to Sarasota. Sarah, how you doing? Sarah Y. It's great to hear from everyone. Success rates of IUI with injectables. I've had success with Clomid IUI before, but so this is Tamika Shelton. So the IUI cycles work tremendously for many, many people. So just because you may not be ready or want to do IVF, IUIs with injectables will up the odds. So if naturally your odds are 5% per month, Clomid or letrozole IUI is 10%, and injectables may be as high as 20%. So it really does help tremendously. I always say, do something in order to get something. Don't just sit around whistling away, wondering, gee, what's wrong? What am I going to do? It's good to pray, and we're going to all pray and bring that vibration and electrical energy to everyone and see the hope and the success, even when it seems like the darkest, darkest, darkest day. And remember, dark is dark at dawn with just before the light. So let's see. Oh, Montreal, Dr. Fayez Farouki. He's doing helping with monitoring and doing donor egg, just everything with Dr. Farouki in Montreal and Toronto. But we work with New Life, and we're working with your centers wherever you are in the country or the world, because since we're able to make it more affordable, and some of these prices are $10,000 to $20,000 or up to $30,000 for an IVF, we know we can help make this more affordable. And I've been doing this in Syracuse for over 20 years. Kid from the streets of LA, Silver Lake, Hollywood, and I've been here on Skinny Atlas Lake for a long time, and this is home. But wherever we are in this world, it's home. And we travel, whether it's walking, a bus, a bike, you're in a car, a train, or you're zooming in the air. There's easy ways to get to where you want to go. And we're here to make that work better and better and better. Anna Miles, how you doing? Husband has MS, low morphology. All right. Read Terry Whale's book on MS, the Whale's Protocol. It's so simple. MS is caused by a high carbohydrate, low fat diet, in my opinion. And doing the keto, again, Maria Emmerich, and if you go again to our website, you'll find lots on Maria's stuff. And I think that is the #1 way to reduce the effects of MS. Actually, again, the cause of MS is carbs, and improve sperm morphology tremendously. So DNA damage and DNA fragmentation, and ReproSource in Boston we've been using for a long time. If you want to check DNA fragmentation and look at immunologic or autoimmune parameters, and I know that Dr. Braverman uses them for a lot of their testing, and so all you have to do is, hey, Dr. Kiltz, I would like to do the testing, even though we know that you're going to treat us in similar ways. But we're always here to work with either Dr. Kwok Kim or Dr. Braverman in the protocols that they have prepared for you personally. Again, we're all really in this and working together. Larissa, how you doing? Elizabeth, how you doing? Nicole, Ananda, and we are, again, pray and visualize success. And this is the vision board. And my book, The Fertile Secret, get it on Amazon, along with my Intentions book. And we have a lot of meditation through our website. And I always say that listen to a book that's inspiring you and keeps you moving forward. And if you haven't read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, or listen, Jeremy Irons, really, really amazing. And again, share this live as a unlive around the world, because we know that there's so many people that will find what we have to share, and suddenly they'll share their success without ever coming. But again, if it's not working while you're just sitting around, then get up and do something and move forward. And this is the most emotionally, physically, and financially painful thing that you can do in life. But whatever it is, there's a light in life to draw us. So pain is darkness, and we get down and depressed, and we don't want to move. Let's see here. What do we got here? Maddie, it was canceled, and I apologize, Maddie Ross. I may have missed your question. Let's see. 7 years of infertility unexplained. Mike and Mindy Jones. We look forward to talking in September. Remember, latch on, read The Fertile Secret, listen to our stories, Facebook Lives, Sundays at 8. I will work to keep them going. Once in a while, I may be keeping low, but I'm working on it. And so we've seen 9 and 15 years of unexplained. And remember, unexplained is inflammation, immunologic. It's 99% due to what we consume in our mouths and 1% in the brain. But, you know, it's always moving a little bit. So I always talk about the mind and the mouth matters most. Let's see. Meg Summers, it's coming. I'm going to say, I said September, but it looks like October, but we're coming very close. Bree Wesselman, keto. I recommend keto once you're pregnant and forever. I believe that the fat we are meant to carry, so the human body is meant to get fat. There's nothing wrong with anyone who gets fat. They're getting fat because fat is the fuel for the body, and the body is preparing for a famine, war, pestilence, disease, illness, or pregnancy. And when you're pregnant, I believe nausea and vomiting, early pregnancy says do not eat, do not put that poisonous food that basically is a modern invention of agriculture. And now the preparation of all these things that you and I have been marketed to as healthy is not. Oh, I know the other interesting thing was the cell phone and the radio waves that come from it, holding it here or in our pockets, that may affect the testes and the ovaries. So, you know, put them further away, but we got all this other radio frequency coming in the air. So it's a hard one to pin down for sure, but all these things are factors. And I was watching something on a fish, and a lot of farmed fish are highly toxic. They're a filtered organism and all the shellfish are filtering, and they're holding on to all these toxins. So I always say organic, farm fresh is going to be the best. I do a lot of grass-fed beef, fattiest ribeye, butter all over it, and one meal a day at night, rest and digest. And Rachel Long, we'll see you in October, November. Doing more than one egg retrieval, should I wait, or kind of time between stems? So we do a lot of banking cycles, stem, and through the multiple stems, you bank embryos, whether you test them or not, and then come back for a transfer. And especially if you're thinking, gee, I'm in my late 30s, I want to bank embryos, and then I want to hold those for my future next pregnancy because I'm worried, gee, at 40, I'm going to have a baby at 41, 42. Now I'm 43. What do I do at that point? Well, if you have embryos or eggs in the bank, always beneficial. And it may be that young men, young women in their early 20s should begin to think about egg and sperm banking. And we have really great opportunities for both of those through all of our centers. Let's see. Karen George, how you doing? 36 and a half. Do not have a partner, banking eggs. And my AMH is I'm going to assume it's lower. We see a lot of low AMHs that are boosted with keto. Keto, LDN, CBD is a recommendation, not yet proven, by the way, but certainly DHEA. And stop running. You're heating up the core, the bowels, and the bucket of bad, I call it, which is tremendous amount of inflammation, fermentation, and all those complex carbs and healthy carbs, and fiber is deadly also, by the way. So it really is an opposite story, but we see a tremendous amount of single women using donor sperm. We use donor sperm from any banks, but if you have a sperm donor, we will work with you and help you make that also work. We see a lot of women that are bringing in their own donor eggs, or they're someone to donate eggs, and that also can help make it more affordable for you. So there's lots of ways to do this. Kate Shaw, prednisone for life-threatening condition, not autoimmune or disease, and again, it's not opening, but if you, Kate, maybe you can write out the rest of that. I apologize, and I'll take a look down at the bottom. But it stopped at wood, and certainly I believe for all things that human beings experience, keto is king. And intermittent feasting. Check out Jimmy Moore's book on keto and cholesterol clarity, because eating high-fat diet does not cause heart disease. It causes health and wellness. And healthy fats, in my opinion, are butter, beef, and pork. But look at hemp seed oil. I think that's another home run, but a little bit of coconut. But remember, coconut oil is a seed oil. These seed oils, we may have allergies, and these allergies can be pretty detrimental for all of us. So it may be worth doing allergy testing for food. I do believe that you may not test positive for it now, but it may become something in the future. And if you got to also recognize that our tests that we do in medicine are not that accurate. They're often wrong. Christina Copley, embryo glue. All right. It kind of drives my embryologist a little crazy because it takes time overnight to incubate the embryo glue, but it's another culture media that we put the embryos in for a short time. Ask for it, we offer it, there's an upcharge for that. So we're working to make sure you get everything you need. We're doing a lot of HCG washes, intralipids, and then sub-Q Neupogen. I think those things help a lot. And remember, intralipids is weekly, IVIG monthly. We're doing a lot more care through 12 to 14 weeks, and in many cases, 28 and longer, where we're helping manage your medications, the keto paleo approach, anti-inflammatory approach to your health and wellness. And it doesn't matter what you're suffering from, it's an inflammatory cause, that's it. Egg quality, let's see, Blanca Uvale, a pleasure. So keto, LDN, CBD, DHEA, and those are the main things. Acupuncture, massage, mind massage, or abdominal pelvic massage. Blood flow, really happening. That we're improving the blood flow. Sometimes the blood flow is reversed, so we got to get it back the right way. And hypertension, so we're really seeing hypertension in the pelvic vasculature, and hypertension is caused by carbohydrates, a high plant-based, uncooked, and variety, in my opinion. And again, Atlanta's coming soon, Amanda, and it just takes time between supplies and making sure all the little details are working in place. And let's see, Penny, Michelle, how does one go about getting in office in Atlanta? So all you need to do is we're going to make the appointments through our central scheduling. So that's coming. I'll be coming down once a month at least to help coordinate and share the story. But my hopes are we can either do FaceTime live, Skype, and really helping on a global. So you guys hear the story, you know the stories that I'm sharing, and you see what people are asking in our village. And so let's all work together. And even when some of my staff kind of is feeling a little hurt because maybe they said something or did something wrong, and sometimes we maybe aren't so nice. And what I'm working for all of us to do is share a little bit more love and help us. Hey, so-and-so maybe didn't do something that made me feel right. Hey, Dr. K, can you help me? Can we make it better? Can we help teach them, train them? Because I believe we're all capable, me especially, of doing better every single day. Fresh versus frozen, Amanda Hobson Ward. So both fresh and frozen work nicely. Statistically, they're not very different. If your progesterone is elevated on the trigger day above 1.5 to 2, or you have a significant overstimulated ovaries, we generally recommend a Freezol. If you're banking, the same thing, a Freezol. If you're doing PG, pre-implantation genetic testing for aneuploidy or gender, it's a Freezol cycle anyway. Let's see, Lacey, fresh versus frozen. So previous failed fresh, we look at a frozen. Previous failed frozen, we look at a fresh. I have some that were successful in a fresh or a frozen. We recommend that the next time. And then we'll look at those numbers at the same time. I recommend make sure you get all your meds as if you're going to do a fresh. You plan the fresh. You can always drop back and Freezol. But if we don't start some of the medications, estrogen, progesterone, and other supplements, then we want to make sure. Let's see, Christina, the genetic testing negative, all 27. Wow. Again, we should chat, we should review it. Plus, my belief on PGD, PGS testing, it's not perfect. We've transferred abnormal embryos and abnormal babies, and I've seen normal embryos create a miscarriage and an abnormal pregnancy tissue. So, medicine is not very accurate. We look with a global approach. We're trying to use our eyeglasses and our microscopes and to get a better answer, but we're not always so good. And remember, we are here to support your RE, your OBGYN, your care wherever you're going. We're just offering and adding another approach that can be very helpful wherever you're going and whatever you're doing. Slow it down. Recent cancer survivor, Marinette Beal, planned activity, active attempt for transfer August, what prenatals. So Theralogics, and if you look on our website, there's a link to Theralogic. You get some discounts. We offer the Ovavite, the Theramegas, and the Ovasitol. We think that's a good core prenatal complement. It has vitamin D. It has CoQ10. You may look towards DHEA if there might be a reduced ovarian function. Add the LDN and look at CBD. I think that's really important. Kate, is it bad to be on prednisone during egg retrieval? No, not at all. We use it. We think it helps a little bit. But, you know, the hard part to all of this is not everyone needs it. But we think this is our blanket approach to really help in so many. Let's see, Danielle Marie Montando, welcome. What are the causes to recurrent chemical pregnancies? All right. Sperm and egg abnormalities make embryo abnormalities, and the environment of the pelvis in the male and the female both contributed to it. High inflammatory environment is going to either trash the egg, the sperm, the embryo, or it's going to kick out a normal embryo. So this is why I recommend keto, keto, keto. Remember, paleo helps a lot. You can do it both as a vegan and a vegetarian. Went down the wrong way, sorry about that. But look towards the complete immune protocol to reduce inflammation. We're getting close here, so maybe it's a good thing anyway, but I got about 5 more minutes here. Let's see, LDN versus prednisone. We use a lot in combination. You may use a little higher LDN or a little higher prednisone, but we think that both are helpful. Causes of chemical pregnancies are the same causes as infertility or later pregnancies and miscarriages, or even preterm labor and delivery. So inflammation. If you text me or email me at rkiltz@cumyfertility.com, I'll send you my 5 causes of disease, which I think really reflects all of this also. Let's see, Tiffany Minor, husband has azoospermia, testing in a couple of months. When should I start my IVF cycle? Well, we think that once you've done the testing and confirmed there's sperm there, you can get started if it's a freeze-all. I recommend for a lot of guys, if we know if it's an obstructive azoospermia, the odds are 99% we're getting sperm, you may be able to start right away. I do recommend for the guys the antibiotics, the HCG, letrozole or Clomid, LDN, CBD, and keto, and guys, slow it down because you're killing the sperm. It may not look it, but it's like it really is diseased tremendously. So I hope, Tiffany, I answered your question. Really, right after you get the sperm, you can get going, but even simultaneously, we get them both going at the same time. For some guys, you get no sperm at the epididymal aspiration or the testicular epididymal sperm aspiration. We do a true cut biopsy, but we will work with your urologist wherever they are that may have aspirated the samples and frozen them. They can be shipped to us. We do have a lot of couples where they're shipping the sperm overnight. If it's a home collection and they have normal or reasonable normal samples, and we're getting really, really great samples and all that. So Eric and my Syracuse team is helping coordinate that. And my endocrine teams at Albany and Syracuse, a shout out. They're doing awesome. We're really grateful to that. Osa Omaraji, miscarriage after heartbeat. Heartbreaking for sure. Remember, inflammation caused by glucose glycation, antigens, food allergies, phytochemicals, these chemicals that are in the plants, in the fish, and in other foods we're eating in too much variety and quantity, and not staying keto, I think are factors. We do a lot of HCG support boosters, progesterone, stay on it, weekly intralipids and IVIG, and we think a lot of other things. Is Ovasitol recommended for men too? Karina Rubio. I do think the Ovasitol is good. So for guys, to Theralogics, the omega-3s, Theramegas, the Conception XR, the vitamin D, the CoQ10, and the Ovasitol, because it's a metabolic disorder for all of us. We're all suffering from this stuff. It's really crazy, and none of us can figure out, well, why does this person have this, and this person have this, and this person have this? It's all the same cause. And check out my TEDx talk. Just, Google Dr. Rob Kiltz TEDx. You'll see my human Ferrari conversation. It really, again, I completely didn't believe any of the things I'm talking about until about 10 years ago when some of my patients were getting pregnant. I couldn't do it. Many of them did yoga, acupuncture, they just let go. But many of them were doing paleo and keto in some way. And if you haven't read Gary Taub's book, Good Calories, Bad Calories, and I do a tremendous amount of audio books, it really, really, really is amazing. I think it changes everything. And I am so grateful for all the shout outs and the gratitude, by the way. And I send it right back at you. I feel so grateful and blessed in so many ways. So, Alicia, yes, keto during pregnancy. And I think our children should be doing a form of keto. And check out The Magic Pill on Netflix. Great stories. I tell you, I would never have believed any of this, but it matters. Rachel Carter, to treat thin and uncooperative lining. PRP infusions, and Dr. Riordalis is going to be doing them in Atlanta. Look towards CBD, LDN, keto, laparoscopy, hysteroscopy, look for endometriosis, remove fibroids or obvious visual inflammation. And then we do a lot of intrauterine Neupogen. We're doing some Viagra or Cialis. And in cases where natural cycle or letrozole don't work, you might try injectables, gonal Menopur. And I didn't mention the Menopur, either 1-to-1 gonal falls to Menopur only, may be helping in some of these to improve egg and embryo quality, by the way. Hey, Bridget, Larissa, how you doing? Lala, always great. Karina, and the Magic Pill, we're getting some shout outs now. And if you guys are finding other movies or other resources or other books or other practitioners that are sharing an awesome story, Don Clark, Mike, one of our new acupuncturists, really, we have great people sharing, our massage therapists, our acupuncturists, facials. If you come to Syracuse, we do facials, massage, acupuncture. We have a great hot tub the shape of a uterus, unintentional, but most of my intentions all surround reproduction. And ultimately, it's our foundation for all of us, children. And when it's not happening, it is hard. And so don't give up. And I know how hard it is in all of this. 23-week loss. I'm sorry, Kimberly. This is where we need to talk about either intra-abdominal, trans-abdominal cerclage for some, antibiotics, and progesterone, and the immune protocol throughout pregnancy. So I'll be glad to help on that. Tanya Koss, Neupogen or HCG wash. One or the other, or both in some cases. I recommend the Neupogen sub-Q over HCG sub-Q because the HCG sub-Q is going to cause your pregnancy test to be falsely positive. And so all real let's see. We're doing a tremendous number of IVIG and intralipids. Really, it may be more affordable than you think. We're also adding Humira, Plaquenil, and leukocyte immunotransfusion, LIT. When the embryo is not sticking or being kicked out, LIT with Markham Fertility, Mike Vero in Toronto, and also down in Nogales, Mexico. And I'm working to get Dr. Faruqi to do some LIT therapy and PRP. All right. Let's see. CBD oil. So everyone's throwing out. And hello, Atlanta. Let's see. Ohio, Michigan, Oregon, Florida today. Colorado. Hey, Kay, how you doing? I'll be out in Colorado next month for a great meeting, SRM meeting, to connect with colleagues and friends, learning new things. And remember, we're all here to learn and grow and create. Share your stories. It's really a pleasure. I'm sorry I missed you guys last night, but and I did miss you, by the way. Gratitude. Keep sharing it from wherever you are in the world. And remember, let's help share some love and listening. And we're all learning on this really challenging process. So again, God bless. Share the Fertile Fireside Chats live, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sundays. Dr. Rob Kiltz, CMI Fertility. God bless to everyone.